Hello guys, I'm Guy and welcome to Critics. Today's question: are gaming developers going crazy? And don't get me wrong, I'm not talking about that Philfish thing and the other girl. I'm not going to talk about that. There are a lot of critics about that in YouTube, so I'm not even going to bother doing it. Just if you ask me to do it, I'll obviously do it, but I don't think I really need to do it. So, before I start, I just want to say that I'm going to focus on the games that the game developers may make. I'm not going to say any game in particular. Okay, so just some games. I'm not going to say any game developer, any, not even one. I'm just going to say some games, and I'm going to criticize the whole community of gaming developers. So before I start, I just want to say that I'm going to focus more in the free games, not in the pay games, because I will say why in the video, but you need to know this because it changed a lot between the free games and the paid games. So today I'm going to talk just about the free games. Maybe I'll do another one about the pay games. Okay, so let's get started. As you know, there are a bunch of types of games, and you know too that some are more famous than the others. Some that you don't even know because there are a lot of games. So obviously, the three types of games that are famous now, it's the MOBA type of games, the FPS TPS type of games, and the MMORPG. MMORPG, since the beginning, they are known since the beginning, just like FPS TPS games. But MOBA is a recent thing, and maybe you don't know what MOBA is, so I'm going to explain to you. So MOBA is a kind of arena game. So you have a game where you have arena, and the objective is to capture or destroy the enemy base. So after you do that, the game ends and you have to start all over again in the same arena or another arena, you decide that. So as you can see, you are noticing that by this description, MOBA games are just like Dota 2 and League of Legends. So that type of games are the MOBA games. If you are asking who started the MOBA games, it was from StarCraft, the first one, if I'm not wrong. It was one mode that you could play. It was the first MOBA game that there ever was. So if you have any doubt about the FPS TPS games, the MMORPG, just be sure to ask me in the comments. I will answer it quickly. So these type of games being the most known games, the most played games now, they have obviously games those type of games have games that are known, the most known games in their type. So being obviously League of Legends the most known MOBA game, League of Legends is actually the most played game in the world now. Being Call of Duty the most known FPS game, not TPS. I really don't know what's the most played TPS game, but I will put those two types together because they are basically the same thing. I could say the most played TPS game is GTA, Grand Theft Auto, but I don't know. And being World of Warcraft, the most known MMORPG game. As you should know, World of Warcraft was the most played game for years and years and years and years before Minecraft and League of Legends arrived. When you go to a site or when you go to a blog or something like that, you usually see at least one game commercial. And tell me, since the beginning of uh, 2014, did you saw any game commercial that wasn't a MOBA, a FPS, or a RPG? And you don't see RPG that much, so too. So I don't know. You just see MOBA and FPS games. You just see those. Even RPG games that are known since the beginning of PC gaming, they are just, there are no new commercials of those games. Okay, I know I'm basing on these commercials, but it's from there where you know the new games. It's from those commercials. So these games became so famous that the only thing that you see now coming out, it's this type of games. It's really sad because there are people that don't enjoy this type of games. There are more strategy type of games and all other things, and you don't see those type of games now. Only MOBA, FPS games, and rarely RPG games. But don't get me wrong, I know that indie games and survival games are now becoming famous. But as I said before, I'm focusing on free games. I know that indie games are usually free games too, but you don't see these commercials. You don't see these. How can I say it? This. I don't know how to say it, but you don't see people talking about these indie games. You discover these indie games because you search for them, not because they come to you, just like the other games. So I'm going to put these games apart and just let's continue. Some of you may be saying, what's the big deal about this? Well, the problem is that not everyone can buy a game every month, so people can't always be purchasing a good game of strategy or another type of good games or survival games in this case, because they can't, there aren't no free games of this type, and people can't buy those games. So some people can only buy games in their birthday, and that's really hard for them. And it's a real big problem to the gaming community, because people now are buying games more than ever. I remember some years ago people only played free games, and now everyone plays a pay game easily. They just go to the store and buy it. It's not like it was before. You had to really reconsider on buying a game. You had to know if you would like that game a lot. But now people just go buy it, and they even buy more things in the game. So okay, if a game is free, you the developer obviously won't have a good profit out of it. But I don't think that's the problem. I really don't think that's the problem. You can take the example of League of Legends. It's a free game, and everyone in the world already played that game at least once. Okay, I know, it's a MOBA game. It's a game that is known now. But MOBA games became famous especially because of League of Legends. And when they made the game, MOBA wasn't even known, so it's hard, because developers are always making the same type of games, and you want to play another games, and they just focus on the profits. They don't focus on the client enjoy actually the game, so they focus on one public, and just that's what they want. They just want profit. And before you start disagreeing with me, saying that mobile games were known when League of Legends came out because of Dota 2 and that, yes, it's true. Dota made the mobile games become famous more than all, but remember, WoW wasn't created in Season 1. WoW had alpha and beta versions before Season 1. So, uh, this my point is, gaming developers are really losing it. Why? Because look at Call of Duty. Tons, tons, tons of people play this game, but a lot of people are quitting too. They are sending a lot of games, and people are starting to understand they are basically the same thing all and over again, but you will buy it. You know you will buy it. If you like Call of Duty, you will buy their new games, and that's what they want. And I'm not saying that it's a 20-year-old guy that is quitting Call of Duty. I'm telling about the audience, the clients that they want. The 13 years old kids are quitting Call of Duty, and quickly. For League of Legends, for an example. Okay, they still buy it, but they don't play it as often. I know you may saying that, okay, that's not their problem. They bought it, they already got the money, they don't care if you play or not. But I don't think that's like that, because if people don't play it, people won't buy it, the new games, and they will eventually stop getting profit of it. So, some of you are asking me to, what about Minecraft? Why isn't it getting such like games like Call of Duty, World of Warcraft, League of Legends? Minecraft was one of the most played games in the world once, so why isn't it getting just games like it? Well, there's where you are wrong. If you search a little in Google and the internet, you will see that Minecraft it's in fact one of the most known survival games. Yes, some people don't agree that Minecraft is a survival game. They say that it is a MMORPG, but some people say that Minecraft is a survival game and not an MMORPG. So with this, what I mean is all these games of survival are getting famous because they, in terms of graphic, they aren't anything close to Minecraft, but they are like an upgrade of Minecraft. So you basically do the same thing, but it's much more real, and of course with some difference. They can't make it absolutely like it, but with some differences. The game is basically the same. The problem is the survival games are paid, so you can't, just like Minecraft, so you can't really, I can't really be talking about this a lot. And the problem is that most new survival games are not MMO. They are just one player. For now, of course, they will make a lot of new survival games that are MMO, but for now, the games that are that in the date that I throw this video into YouTube, the survival games, there aren't a lot MMO. That's why people still play a lot of Minecraft instead of these new survival games. With all of this cleared, I can now give an answer to the question of this video. Again, when you go to a site and you see various games commercials, which after some research I can tell you that I have some numbers of the commercials that you find. This was for some research I made. Remember, the numbers are not perfect. This is just this is just an estimation, not a perfect number. Okay, so don't go to the comments and start insulting me because this is not a perfect number, and besides it can change a lot during the months and during years, so this it's not a perfect number. Remember before you start insulting me in the comments. So when you go to a site or when you start researching for new games, for example top 5 games in YouTube and things like that, you can thoroughly see that 49 no no 39 sorry 39% of those games are a new MOBA game. And I'm not kidding. You can see how does that show called the Adventure Time. They made a MOBA game, so you can't be telling me that I'm overreacting, because I'm not. Even television shows made MOBA games. So yes, it's 39% of all the games, of all new games that you find are MOBA games. 27% of those games are FPS or TPS games. So yeah, you can see that it is a lot lower than MOBA games. Still a lot higher. Still, it's a big number. And 25%. I know I said that MMORPG games could be found, but if you go to top 5 and things like that, a lot of them are MMORPGs, so that's why it grown here. You can see that 25% are MMORPG games, and the rest 9% are another types of games. So yes, you obviously find these other types of games in commercials and top 5, but it is a really low probability of finding them, because I don't know what to say. What's famous now, it's playing MOBA games and FPS games, so that's what. Now, what's the conclusion of all this? What's the objective of this episode? Well, the conclusion is that the game developers need to change their ideas and convert their need of profit into our joy, the gamer's joy. In my opinion, that was what Riot made with League of Legends, a free game that you eventually like so much that no matter what, you'll buy a skin before you reach level 30. Okay, maybe it's not the game that you are always playing it, but it's a game that gives a lot of profit. A lot of profit. It's a free game, and I can certainly say you, but really, I can say you this real easily, that they made at least the double of money that cost with this. At least the double of money. So, what's the objective? As I asked, what's the objective of making this video? Why am I doing this? Why am I why do I have just such a big deal with this new types of games? Well, the objective is to change all these numbers to a perfect industry of games. Just make you clear that if you know any game developer, if you know anything, if you can do anything about this, you have to do it, because people want another games, people want new games, people want new feelings, people want new things. And that's what the gaming community is. So change all these numbers to a balanced industry of game, where there will be an exact same number of each new type of games, to all the people could enjoy their games without being forced to play the famous games that are now out. So yeah, this is basically the objective of me doing these videos, these critics, these things. So if you support me, be sure to see another video of critics that should be there, and I hope to see you next time. See ya.